This is a schematic diagram of a starter solenoid, similar to the one in this video. And if you look at the far right, the lower far right, it says start switch, which is the ignition switch in the start position. You'll notice there's two windings coming off that S terminal, and the lower one winds around and goes to the M terminal, which is the motor terminal. You'll see that in the video. And when it does it, it creates a strong magnetic field that will pull that solenoid down and then connect the M and the battery. That means the motor is now energized and it will begin to operate. Now the other winding is the Holden winding, and it comes off the S terminal too. You'll see that again in the video. And it goes to ground, and it's a lighter winding just to hold that plunger in place. Of course, the BAT terminal, or the battery terminal, is a junction point that will allow wires to come off it and go to the ignition switch, and therefore create a start wire back down to the starter. Once the engine is started, there's a return spring to push the contacts away when the magnetic fields are no longer activated because you release the key. Today I'm going to show you the inner workings of a starter solenoid. And I've used the Mitsubishi starter from the classroom, but because we can see it in actual motion and action. So if you look here, we've clamped the starter in a vise very securely and connected a battery, negative, to ground, and then the positive to the battery connection on the solenoid. In the car, this would go right up to the positive terminal of the battery. And to illustrate that point, you can see there's live current there, the same as the battery. The test light is grounded right here. So this is the solenoid. You got the battery terminal on one side, and it comes right apart. Take it apart and we can have a look inside. That's the battery contact, and this one's the starter motor contact. What we have to do is get that contact over to the starter motor, and that's the job of the solenoid. So there's the contact ring surface. You can see it's all a little bit of burning from years of service. And it goes in the back here. Now this wire here would go up to your start connection on your in the ignition switch. So what we want to do is put positive to this wire. It'll make a strong electromagnet. In fact, you can, whoops, if you come around here, you can see where it goes in, right there. And one of those, there's two windings there. Two come off the switch terminal. They wind in there to make the magnet, and one heavier one comes out and goes to the motor terminal for heavy current flow. And that's the strong pull-in winding. The other winding that's in there is just for keeping the solenoid working, engaged. So carefully, I think I'll disconnect this time. Place this in. And this is to simulate turning the key, because I'm going to put it to positive. And oops. It's always fun to have a few things go wrong. Now the motor's terminal As soon as I let off on the key, this return spring pushes the contact away. Now I'm going to disconnect this time. Connect again. Now, just to illustrate the point again, I'm not going to use a magnet. I'm going to use my hand. Thank you very much.